Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'm giving you guys the top 15 tips to turn from a noob to a gamer. Let's go. The first tip I got for you guys is find a main. Obviously you don't have all the legends at the beginning of the game, but if you can find your playstyle you like, whether it be more passive like Watson and Rampart, or whether it's more aggressive like Octane and Revenant. The beauty of being able to find a main is that you can learn to master their abilities and playstyle. Next tip I got for you guys is don't be like this lifeline. Like literally, please just res. This is making me mad. Even just watching this again is making me so mad. Res! Please res! The next tip I got for you guys is learn to do armor swaps mid-fight. Armor switches are an absolute game changer, as you can be battling a bot, then quickly open a box and grab a new set of armor and quickly gain back more health. Do be careful though, because if you're on console, you'll be still when in the box and you'll be easy pickings. Next up is use doors in fights to your advantage. You can block doors with your body or caustic gas traps and heal up on the other side of it. Do remember though, it takes 2 punches or 2 kicks to break down the door. Grenades do break the door as well. Thermite grenades can also do damage through doors, so be careful when there's a thermite grenade around a door. You can also pull doors out, as you see right there, and it's a great source of cover, especially in places like Bunker on Kings Canyon. Next tip I got for you guys is stay near your teammates and coordinate with them. A great way of doing this is using the ping wheel, so if you hold down the ping button it'll come up with a bunch of options, but this is only if you don't have comms with them. But otherwise, try to play with your friends as much as you can, because obviously you can get in a party chat or Discord chat and get really good comms with each other. I definitely recommend this for ranked as well, because it's a lot harder playing ranked without teammates you know. Some team comps I recommend is Revenant, Wraith, and Caustic. It just makes for a really strong push if you use the Rev totem, and you can also escape pretty easily with Wraith if needed. Another really good combo is Horizon, Caustic, and Fuse, because if you put all of their ults on a team or try to third party with all of their ults, you'll do an absolute ton of damage. I even have a video all about this. Another really strong team comp you can do is Bangalore and Bloodhound, because you can pop a Bangalore smoke and then Bloodhound scan and you'll be able to see straight through it, whereas their vision will be blocked. Next tip I got for you guys is learn how to effectively move. Make sure whenever you're going down slope surfaces, make sure to slide, as well as slide jump. Pretty much how you slide jump is you click the slide button as you see right here and then jump just as you're starting to lose speed on your slide. Another big tip I got for you guys is, as you see right here, use zip lines that are nearby to give you a little bit of an extra boost. Another thing you can learn to do if you're a PC player or if you have an Xbox Elite controller is learn how to B-hop, and there's a couple other fancy things you can do with that. But for now, I'm just going to keep it just with the slide jumping. Next up I got for you guys is make sure to thirst your kills, because there's a fair chance that if you have to back out in a fight that they could res, especially if they have a lifeline or Mirage, as they're both really strong resing characters. And it's just a good safe way of knowing how many people you're up against, so you always know how many people are left in the enemy squad. Next tip I got for you guys is absolutely huge. It's an absolute game changer, and it's to turn your field of view to max or to really high. This is really good because, as you can see here, I can hardly see my screen. Like, it's very narrow and a lot smaller. But whereas if I change it up to max or 100, I recommend it as 100, that's what I normally do. Right there, you can see I can see a lot more, and it's just really good, because it pretty much allows you to see more things and enemies on your screen. I hate to say this, but the next tip I got for you guys is to third party. This is a really great way of getting kills and winning fights. Although it's probably one of the worst, most annoying things about Apex, it's pretty meta right now, as it has been since the beginning of the game. It's also even more meta with the addition of Kings Canyon back into the game, as anyone who has played this game for a while knows that this map is third party central. Third partying is great for kills, damage, but it is also probably the best way of getting easy loot, because the other squads have probably weakened each other up, so you can just swoop in there and clean up. It also stops you from needing to loot for ages for that stupid light mag. Next tip I got for you fellas is don't be afraid of Ring 1. Ring 1 does a 2 damage tick per second, and Ring 2 does a 3 damage tick, so honestly you shouldn't be too afraid of either of these rings. It's pretty fine if you do a fight in them, because you're not going to take too much damage. The thing you want to be careful of is Ring 3 though, because that does 10 damage, and then it goes up to 20, 20, and 25. So definitely early game you don't need to worry about ring, but late game you definitely want to stay out of that because that thing hurts. Also with the new changes on ring 2, you can pop a syringe after being revived in the ring without a gold backpack. Now I'm going to give you guys some tips to improve your aim. A really great way of practicing your reaction time with your aim is doing this, where you go about kind of side on to the dummy with a Mastiff or Eva and you just try to flick back onto him, just like that. It's great to build up your reaction time and just help your aim in general. As you can see there, I'm pretty rusty, but it's something I definitely need to work a little bit more on. You can also try this with a wingman or snipers, just any single fire gun. Another big tip I have for you guys is use these moving targets in the background and just any targets and kind of build like some kind of pattern or something you can do. I just generally try to shoot with a wingman or single fire gun at those targets. Another big thing that even I need to practice a little bit more on is knowing when to hip fire and knowing when to ADS. With certain guns like the Spitfire, you want to hip fire it at close ranges, but obviously at longer ranges you want to ADS to narrow down your bullet spread. A really cool thing you can do in firing range is activate the dummies. How you do this is go into the top right tunnel, go to Pathfinder, grapple up to this little ledge thing here, then go into the middle, crouch down, make sure you're not holding any guns in your hands or grenades, then switch legends. You'll hear a clunk kind of sound, and then that pretty much means you've activated the dummies. This is a really cool Easter egg that they added quite a while ago, and now you can go grab some guns and fight dummies. I often use Mastiff and R301 and a couple other different guns just to practice my recoil control and my shooting. And it is also just pretty fun trying to survive because obviously there's 3 bots, so 3 bots will come alive. If you guys are enjoying the vid so far, make sure to drop a like because it really does help. It is also lots of fun just messing around with these bots just like that. I was just standing in front of them and he didn't know what to do. They aren't the best, but it is good practice, especially because you have to 1v3 against them. Another really big tip I got for you guys is looking over what you do, what you could have and should have done to potentially win a fight. For instance, if you drop at a building and 3 other people go there and you have no guns and they shoot you and kill you, although you might have said I had no guns so I pretty much had no chance and there was 3 of them at my building, what you probably could have done is had a look before you landed, seeing who's landing at your building, and just little things like that, thinking of what you could have done and what you should have done. And this is a great way of improving how you play in Apex Legends and getting better and becoming a much more tactical thinker. This is something you can apply to when you die and even when you win, just thinking of things that you could have done better or that you did wrong and try to improve on those. The next big tip I've got for you guys is paying attention to the line of the dropship. This is really good because then you know where all the players are and often some choke points that people will be rotating through. This will help you a lot and get you higher kill games and just more kills in general, as you'll know where everyone is moving through on the map pretty much at all times. Also keep an eye out where people are coming out from the dropship and seeing what locations they're going to, because it'll also give you a better idea of where you're going to find people and give you a better feel for the game. Next up is choose when to fight and when to dip. This can really change how your match turns out, whether you'll be heading back to the lobby or whether you're going to cop a dub. This can depend on your loot, the ability of the squad you're facing and of your squad, as well as how many members you have in your squad. How many squads are left, like if there's only 2 other squads left, you probably want to third party that squad rather than fight one squad and then have the other squad come kill you. As well as the weapons you're carrying, whether you have both close range weapons, then you probably don't want to engage in a long range fight, and vice versa. The next tip I got for you guys is a pretty big one in pretty much any battle royale game, and it is to control the high ground. Now this is pretty simple, but a big mistake I see people do is knock someone that is on the low ground and then immediately go down and push them and finish the kill. Because this is pretty much, after spending all that time trying to get the high ground, you're pretty much giving it up in an instance. Guys, you need to fight for your high ground and not give it up too easily. Although in some occasions you do want to drop to the low ground, but this depends whether if it's like last squad left and a couple other different variants, but just always keep that in mind. Next tip I got for you guys is learn a certain drop location. For instance, if you're dropping at Oasis all the time, try to figure out where is the best spot to drop, what bins or what building you want to drop at. That will give you the best chance to wipe out all of the people in Oasis. This will give you the best chance of winning early game fights, as you already know where everyone is most likely going to be at that spot. I know I have quite a few spots around each of the maps that I like to go to that give me a head start at the beginning of the game. Another huge tip I got for you guys is make sure to carry lots of grenades. This is something that I never see people do, but it's such a game changer, especially in end rings. With Fuse added to the game as well now, he can stack grenades in twos, so this just makes endgame fights so much better, especially if you have a Fuse on your team. But just make sure to carry lots of grenades and absolutely send the grenades away in the end rings. I'm sure if you guys practice and apply these tips into your gameplay, you'll see lots of improvement in a very short amount of time. But anyways guys, huge thank you to you guys who've stuck around to the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And if you guys enjoyed that video, make sure to check out these ones.